Live and recording.
Hello and welcome in to the Chrysler Center here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Thank you for tuning into WCBN Sports. Along with Charlie Mitchell, I'm Theo Shernoff. We've got a good game for you folks. Number 2 ranked Michigan Wolverines at home, undefeated record, hosting the Wisconsin Badgers. A bit of a Big Ten rivalry. Charlie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine.
It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Ann Arbor. Charlie, Michigan off to one of their best starts in recent history.
Yeah,
what are you seeing out of this team?
This Michigan team has been dominant all year. For an entire month stretch, they won by about 30 points. And then last Tuesday, we did not see that. We saw a pretty ugly performance out in Happy Valley. Michigan's big struggled that game for the most part. Merz Johnson, who was on a tear throughout the season, only held the 3 points. Jackson Lendenberg did not shoot particularly well. He went 3 from 9 from the field. And then Ade Mara also just didn't light the game up. That game was led by 2 unheralded young players, and LJ Case and Trey McKinney, who had to step up in that game, and Michigan just barely escaped. Michigan trying to get back on track right here against Wisconsin home right here at Chrysler. Michigan's also off to the best start since the 18-19 season. Coincidentally, the Wisconsin Badgers upset them at the Kohl Center, as they look to do in the Chrysler Center right here.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Michigan had a month stretch where they were one of the most dominant teams in the country, and then an unorthodox performance by them, right? Penn State Arena, that was not very full, wasn't a daunting road environment, but almost the definition of a trap game. Michigan thankful to get out unscathed. The 2-point win, not going to help their ratings at all, but there's still a 0 in that loss column, and that's really all that matters. On the other side, Wisconsin, a team that struggled 2-7 against Power 4 competition this season. They had high expectations after earning a 3 seed in last year's March Madness. Got upset by BYU in the round of 32. Returned a lot of talent, brought in some exciting pieces, but nevertheless, a rough start. They're not out of the at-large picture just yet, Charlie, but what do they need to do today to pull off the unthinkable and upset at the number 2 team in the country?
Big loss for Wisconsin today. Austin Rapp, the Portland transfer, is going to be out, so that means that there's going to be a lot of responsibility with Nolan Winter in the post. He is the only real traditional big man Wisconsin has left in rotation. It's imperative that he stays out of foul trouble and stays healthy this entire game. And then in this game, you're going to need one of Dusty May's former players, and Nick Boyd, to step up and make a lot of big shots. John Blackwell has had a lot of success against Michigan. He needs to step up. Those 2 star guards for Wisconsin are going to have to play have massive performances to have a chance here in Ann Arbor.
Michigan trots out their lineup, their starting lineup of 3 bigs: Yaxel Lendenborg, Ade Mara, Merz Johnson Jr., Namari Burnett, and Elliot Cadeau. And Wisconsin will counter with 2 bigs of their own. You mentioned the 6'10" Austin Rapp out for today's game. Nolan Winter and Alexis Bieliauskas will be the forwards for Wisconsin. And then rounding out the starting 5, Andrew Rohde, Nick Boyd, and last but not least, John Blackwell. You mentioned John Blackwell. Very impressive performance against the Wolverines last year in Madison, which kind of got the Wolverines on the map. It got both the Wolverines and John Blackwell on the map. I remember being at the game. I called it for WCBN Sports, and we were just shocked. We were like, where did this guy come from? Michigan seemed to have no answer for him all year long. But he's looking to repeat that performance. Just seconds away from tip-off at the Chrysler Center. Tip is up, and the tip is won by Michigan. Merz Johnson grabs it on the plus side of midcourt. Elliot Cadeau at the point, the signal caller for Michigan. To Johnson at the left wing, hands to Lendenborg. Lendenborg shadowed by Blackwell. Now to Mara. Mara at the top of the key. Lendenborg, dribble handoff. Lendenborg drives, passes to Mara. He flushes it home. 2-0 Michigan. High to low pass. Lendenborg to Mara gets Michigan on the board early. Boyd the other way for Wisconsin. You mentioned he was recruited to Dusty May, played under Dusty May at FAU for a while, started every game of that Final Four run for the Owls, then went to San Diego State before arriving at Wisconsin. Drives right on Cadeau. Passes back to Bieliauskas. Bieliauskas lets a 3 fly off the front of the rim, then the backboard. Rebound fought for off the hands of Nolan Winter. Wolverines ball.
Biliauskas had a good look right there. If these Wisconsin bigs can stretch to 4, that would be very important for them this game.
Cadeau crosses the timeline for the Wolverines to Johnson Jr. at the top of the key. Lendeborg, an entry pass into Mara. Mara being shoved by Biliauskas. Some physical action in the short corner. Mara tries a pull-up jumper. It's good. Mara showing a little bit of touch. The big man has all 4.
Michigan looking to establish Mara early in the game. 2 possessions, 4 points from already.
Nick Boyd, the lefty point guard, trying to avoid being cornered by Cadeau. Drives down the lane, steps into the lane, finishes, plus the foul. Nick Boyd, a response, silences the Maze Rage foul on Johnson Jr.
Yeah, tough.
Boyd to the line for 2+1.
Yeah, tough drive there for Boyd. Got back, blew by his defender, and had to finish in between both Johnson and Marr. Not easy with those two tough shot blockers.
Nick Boyd at the line, 79% shooter from the charity stripe this season. 18:41 remaining in this first half. It's now 4-3 Michigan as Boyd earns 3 the hard way.
Yeah, and Boyd a little unheralded. He's quite matching. He's very close to quite matching John Tonji's numbers from the Wisconsin so far this year.
Burnett drives, kicks to Lendeborg at the top of the key. One more pass, Cadeau, a 3 off the back rim. Long rebound, Marez Johnson Jr. Spots up Namari Burnett for 3. He cans it. 7-3 Wolverines. 18:20 remaining in the first half. Wisconsin quick the other way. John Blackwell to Winter at the top of the key. One more pass. Andrew Rohde, corner 3 off the back rim. Rebound Lendeborg. Rohde, the UVA transfer, has caught fire at points in his career, but not the most consistent three-point shooter. 34% this season. Mara the other way. On the baseline. Steps through. Tries a lefty layup on Biliauskas and draws the foul. He didn't hit rim or backboard, but he drew the foul. He was driving baseline on Alexis Biliauskas.
Yeah, and
so Mara goes to the line.
It's going to be really important for any Wisconsin player to draw a foul. I mean, drawing a foul. I mean, there's not a lot of bodies left on the bench for Wisconsin this game.
Adai Mara at the line, just a 42% free throw shooter on the season. His first rims all around and out.
Yeah,
7-3.
Yeah, and Adai Mara's free throw shooting was a major issue in the Michigan Penn State game. He missed 2 front ends and a 1-and-1 and went 1-and-1 for the free throw, up 1 late in that game.
Yeah, Charlie, and you have a big man who's so valuable like Mara, but he can't shoot free throws. It's hard to keep him on the court at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Mara's second shot is up and good. 8-3 Wolverines. Nick Boyd, shadowed by Cadeau, crosses midcourt for the Badgers. 17:50 remaining in the first half. Boyd drives left, skip past John Blackwell in the corner. 3 ball, nothing but net. 8-6 Michigan. Big time response for the Badgers. They're going to need to knock down open shots if they want to pull off the upset. Namari Burnett on the left wing. Uses a Mara screen and then passes to that roller Mara. Mara in the lane. Nice pass down low. Lendeborg smokes the layup. He gets his own rebound, draws the foul, and hits the layup.
Yeah, if you're Lendeborg there, you wish you got the first one, but he gets it right back, puts it right up, and draws the foul.
Lendeborg had a layup, missed it, then fought through, got the rebound, and got the and one.
Yeah, and Nolan Winter picks up a foul. So both Wisconsin bigs with 1 foul apiece. It's going to be important if they draw another one.
Lendeborg at the line. 10-6 Michigan. You're right. Winter and Biliauskas both have a foul already. Lendeborg makes the free throw. So 11-6. 5 points the deficit. Wisconsin the other way. Nick Boyd, now being shadowed by Marez Johnson Jr., has a little bit of a switch. Drives right on him. Pump fake. Steps back. Passes to Biliauskas. So top with a key 3. Off the back rim. Rebound Namari Burnett. Michigan looking to run. Push the pace a little bit. Cadeau at the block M to Johnson Jr. Now back to Cadeau. Cadeau uses a Johnson screen. Burnett spots up for left wing 3. No good. Rebound off the hands of Winter. Caught by John Blackwell. And Blackwell slips almost on the official. Out of bounds. Michigan basketball.
Yeah.
They pick up an extra possession.
Little surprising there was contact with Burnett. The ref gets ran over, by the way. Michigan will get possession here. Wisconsin's had some good looks from 3 so far this game, just not converting. Biliauskas has had 2 open looks.
Alexis Bieliauskas under 30% from 3 this season. Lithuanian big man.
Yeah, and with both Wisconsin's bigs and Winner and Bieliauskas, they're gonna try to stretch the floor. They're gonna try to get them open looks, especially with how much pressure these two guards can provide.
Mara gets the inbound pass, throws an alley-oop to Johnson Jr. He has to come down with it instead of going up. Then he backs his way down, and Shaquille O'Neal hammers a dunk home. Just straight power from Johnson Jr. 13-6 Wolverines, 16:36 remaining in the first half. Blackwell drives the other way, picks up a foul on the floor on Lendeberg. Quick first step. It'll be a Wisconsin inbound out of bounds.
I mean, I wonder if we're going to see Lendeborg be matched up against a guy like John Blackwell. I remember in the Maryland game, David Coy had a lot of success against Michigan's guards. They put Lendeborg on him late in the game, played fairly well against him defensively.
Inbounds, Blackwell at the part of the block and in the Wisconsin half of the court. Blackwell shadowed by Burnett, drives left towards the baseline. Burnett cuts him off, Blackwell picks up his dribble, looks for an entry pass to the post, eventually finds it. Roddy Gale Jr. into the game, playing defense on Will Garlock, and Gale strips Garlock. Lendeberg the other way for the Wolverines at the top of the key. Crosses over on Garlock, passes to Burnett in the right corner. Back to Lendeberg at the top of the key, uses an Elliott Cadeau screen and gets the ball at the baseline. Drives Roddy Gale Jr. at the baseline, step through, pivot, pass to Burnett in the corner, 1-2 with Cadeau. Shot clock's at 10. Johnson Jr. on the baseline, rips through, goes up, draws a foul on Nolan Winter. That's 2. 15:55 remaining in the first half. 13-6 Michigan. We'll be back after a short break on WCBN Sports. Back at Chrysler Center, 15:55 remaining in the first half. Michigan a 7-point lead. Johnson Jr. going to the line to shoot 2 more, and that line has been an issue. Wisconsin already has a combined 3 fouls between their 2 starting bigs. And Charlie, with Austin Rapp out, Nolan Winter having 2 fouls, and Bieliauskas has 1. How does Greg Gard adapt for the Badgers?
Now, I mean, you cannot go small ball against Michigan. Michigan will eat you alive, and they will put the ball in the interior. I mean, it looks like they're going to play Garlock a lot of minutes this first half, especially with Nolan Winter having 2 fouls already. I feel like if you're Wisconsin, your bigs have to be very smart defensively at this point. I don't think you can go small here. I mean, with Merez Johnson, Axel Lindenborg, and Ademara all on the court, sometimes at the same time, it's going to be very difficult for them to defend those guys playing small.
For Wisconsin, there is no shortage of height on the team. There's 5 players over 6'10". Bieliauskas and Winter are starting today. Bieliauskas 6'10", Winter 7 foot. We mentioned they put Will Garlock in from Middleton, Wisconsin. The freshman was the number 5 player in the state of Wisconsin this past recruiting cycle. He was a 3-star. He's 7 feet tall. Austin Rapp, we mentioned, is out for the night. 6'10", sophomore. And then Ricardo Greppi, who we have not mentioned yet, might get a couple minutes. Just played garbage time so far for the Badgers, but he's also standing at 6'10" from Australia. So Greg Gard, in his 11th season at the helm of the Badgers, tasked with coaching against the star-studded Dusty May-led team. And Charlie, this team has been a little disappointing. You mentioned how Nick Boyd compared to John Tonje, but what I'm seeing right now is that hole that Tonje has left, because he left a void when he left, is really causing issues for these Badgers.
I mean, Tonje was a phenomenal isolation basketball player, and he could win one-on-one. He also drew many fouls, which there should get a lot of Big Ten fans about last year. But he has to be able to create in this game. He had one drive. He was able to dish it out to Blackwell for a 3. But thus far, that's some of the only production that we've seen so far through Wisconsin, through their 2-star guards. And also to note for this Wisconsin team, not a particularly deep team. They only usually play about 7 guys. So we're going to see Jack Janicki Garlock has come into the game due to the foul trouble with Winter thus far. But it'll be interesting to see how Wisconsin deals with this issue with their big men.
Nick Boyd crosses the timeline for the Badgers. Ball bounces off his foot and then goes out of bounds eventually after hitting Elliot Cadeau and then hitting Jack Janicki, the Wisconsin bench player. It'll be with Michigan ball under their own hoop. 15:43 remaining in the first half. Elliot Cadeau brings the ball up for the Wolverines. Drives right with a Johnson Jr. screen. Passes on the short roll. Johnson hands to Lendeberg at the top of the key. Lendeberg directing traffic now to Johnson Jr. at the left wing. Johnson Jr. DHO with Cadeau. Cadeau drives high, left-handed float pass. Gale Jr. the other way. He got it stripped by Garlock. Badgers force a turnover. Turnover is an issue in Michigan's game versus Penn State. Blackwell pulls up in the mid-range, off the front of the rim, no good. Cadeau the rebound, quickly up to Lendeberg. Lendeberg goes right at Nolan Winter and misses the layup. Good defense by Winter playing with a foul. Boyd the other way. The lefty gets swatted by Johnson Jr. He stepped through Cadeau. Johnson Jr.'s help on the far side prevents a layup. 13-6 Wolverines, 15:02 remaining in the first half.
I mean, yeah, just Perez Johnson with a great rotation over there. Wisconsin in transition gets the block. Appears that there's only Wisconsin only has 2 team fouls.
I think they called it out of bounds on Johnson Jr. right before that media timeout instead of a foul on Winter.
So that's a big break for Wisconsin right there.
Ball is inbounded for Wisconsin. Bieliauskas at the top of the key. Into the corner. It's Braden Carrington into the game. Nice pass. Bieliauskas on the cut. Easy 2. 13-8 Michigan. A little bit of a defensive breakdown. Cadeau the other way, shadowed by Carrington. Cadeau crosses over to his left and picks up a reach-in foul. Cadeau just a step ahead the whole way of Braden Carrington, transfer from Tulsa, who started his career at Minnesota. Cadeau, on the other hand, transfer from North Carolina. Charlie, this cycle of college basketball built by transfers. Yeah,
I mean, and Michigan is no exception to that. 3 of their star players are all transfers.
Inbound to Roddy Gale Jr. Resets to the top of the key with Morez Johnson Jr. Moves it along for Elliot Cadeau. Cadeau, a very veteran rip-through, draws a foul on Andrew Rohde. With 14:34 remaining in this first half, Michigan is picking up the fouls on Wisconsin. That's their 4th team foul. Rohde, another player who started his career in the state of Minnesota, then transferred to UVA, University of Virginia. Played big minutes there, but a little underwhelming. Now returns to his home state and looks to contribute for these Badgers. Inbound for the Wolverines into LJ Kaysen on the baseline. Kaysen drives to the baseline. Bounce pass along the baseline to the far corner. Gale, one more pass. Trey McKinney, nothing but air. 3-ball, way short. Out of bounds, Wisconsin basketball.
I mean, yeah, and with that possession right there, with Michigan through their last 2 games, not particularly great from 3.
13-8 is the score. 14-14 remaining in the first half. John Blackwell drives right. Kick out to Carrington on the right corner. One pass, Bieliauskas rolls around and out his floater. Rebound, Roddy Gale Jr. for the Wolverines. They're running in transition. Trey McKinney, the freshman, steps through, draws a foul, will go to the line for 2. McKinney's been a big contributor these past couple games, this whole season for the Wolverines. The 5-star almost carried Michigan to their win against Penn State. And it seemed like an off night for everyone else. He'll go to the line for 2. The freshman from Flint, Michigan, is an 86% shooter on the year.
Yeah, and Trey McKinney, he is as good as he's been at points this season. He is a little bit streaky so far this year. It's going to be interesting to see how productive he can be today.
McKinney takes his time on the first free throw. The first one is up and good. 14-8 Michigan, 14 minutes flat left in the first half. Wisconsin doing a decent job on the defensive end, but they have to keep up offensively with this Wolverines squad. McKinney, second free throw is up and good, both off the back rim and down. Michigan showing a little full court pressure right now. Andrew Rohde and John Blackwell taking their time to cross half court. Rohde does, then picks up his dribble, almost gets trapped, finds Nolan Winter in the corner. Winter thinks about a shot from the short corner into Blackwell. Blackwell takes contact, finishes a layup. 15-10 Michigan. Quick the other way go the Wolverines. LJ Kaysen into the game, another player who contributed against Penn State. Drives left, kick out, right corner. McKinney 3. He rattles it home. Trey McKinney, if you're airballing his first 3, has the last 5 for Michigan.
Yeah, short memory for Trey McKinney right here as Michigan looks to get trapped.
Wisconsin breaks the press with one long pass from Andrew Rohde to Winter. Now Winter at the top of the key for Wisconsin. Dribble handoff with Braden Carrington. Now to John Blackwell at the block end. Wisconsin taking their time. 10 on the shot clock, 13:07 on the game clock. Blackwell working on McKinney. Steps back, deep 3 is up off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound to Daimara. Outlet pass, Roddy Gale Jr. Gale backing down Rohde on the left wing. Rohde standing strong. Gale spins baseline. Big 2 steps. Lendeberg kick out 3. Rattles home. Greg Gard needs a timeout. 21-10 Michigan, and the stadium comes to their feet. A round of applause early on for the Wolverines. 12:47 remaining in the first half. Michigan doubling up the Badgers 21-10.
I mean, if you're and on that possession right there, Roddy Gale drives, gets right to the lane, kicks out to one of his favorite players, and Axel Lendeberg. And encouraging sight for Axel Lendeberg. Last against USC and against Penn State, struggled from the perimeter. He makes his first 3-point attempt here today.
Michigan shooting 50% from 3 early on. That was just a 30-second timeout by Greg Gard in his 11th season as head coach for Wisconsin.
I mean, with Greg Gard, he's had Wisconsin as a top 5 Big Ten program every year he's been here. Maybe a little bit lack of tournament success, but there's a lot to be proud with how he's run this Wisconsin program.
Seems like every time he gets on the hot seat, he pulls himself right off of it. John Blackwell now for Wisconsin as play resumes. 12:36 remaining in the first half. 21-10 Michigan. Nick Boyd drives left on McKinney. Pass to Braden Carrington at the right elbow. Kicks out corner 3. John Blackwell pump fakes. One more pass to Nolan Winter. Lets a 3 fly from the top of the key and hits it. Nolan Winter silences the crowd. 21-13 Wisconsin needed that one.
Yeah, and Winter has had a really quiet game up to this point until then.
Kaysen uses a Mara screen at the right wing. Drives left on Carrington. Kaysen picks up his dribble, doesn't quite know what to do with it. Decides to go up for 2, and it rolls around and just out. Toilet bowl and no good for Kaysen. Blackwell quickly for Wisconsin the other way. Passes to Bieliauskas at the top of the key. Big to Winter. Winter shadowed by the smaller Gale Jr. Now Bieliauskas dribble handoff with Carrington. Carrington a deep 3, picks up a foul on Trey McKinney. That'll be 3 shots at the free throw line after the immediate timeout. 11:46 left in the first half. A sloppy foul by the 5-star freshman. Wisconsin can cut the lead to 5 with free throws after this timeout. 21-13 Wolverines. Charlie, Wisconsin building some momentum here.
Yeah, and what a response out of the timeout. I mean, you get the open through winner. A pick and pop, and then on the other side, you get bailed out a bit with Carrington getting fouled on the 3.
This Michigan team off to a 14-0 start. They were a 5 seed in last season's tournament. They got knocked off by Auburn, a 1 seed who made it to the Final Four, lost to the eventual champion. So they lost in the Sweet 16 to a great 1 seed, the number 1 overall seed, who they then got their revenge over this season. They knocked off Auburn, San Diego State, and Gonzaga in the Players Era tournament in Vegas. That got the attention of the national sports media for Michigan. Michigan came in as a top 10 ranked team, but now they've been hovering at that number 2 spot for the last several weeks. Arizona, the only team standing between them and the number 1 spot. But Dusty May, in his second season, has had just about as good of a tenure as you can ask for, Charlie.
I mean, he's 41-10 up to this point in his tenure. He was about 2 games out of winning the Big Ten outright in the regular season last year. Of course, unfortunately, dropped the 2 games against Michigan State, and then won the Big Ten tournament championship. He's had the epitome of a great rebound in college basketball this far. And I mean, with how he's utilized bigs, he is with Lendeborg, with Danny Wolf, with Merez Johnson Jr., with Vlad Golden. He's setting himself to really be a guru with big men in college basketball, which is kind of the opposite of what he did at FAU, where he built that program up with a great guard play, with Jonell Davis, Nick Boyd we're seeing here today. So to see how he can evolve based off the pieces he gets is very encouraging to see as a head coach.
Nick Boyd, we mentioned it pregame, but Nick Boyd played with Dusty May at FAU for a while, was the starter on that Final Four team. And after Dusty May came to Michigan, Nick Boyd went to San Diego State, the team who knocked off FAU in the national semifinal. One season at SDSU was enough for him. He had enough of the heat, came up to the north, Wisconsin. He is now the man for the Badgers. Somewhat of a quiet night so far, but the lefty will surely turn up later.
I mean, and so far this game, we're seeing a lot of opportunities for Alexis Biliauskas. He's had 4 field goal attempts already, only 2 points. So it's interesting to see if Wisconsin goes towards him more in this game.
21-13 Michigan, 11:46 remaining in the first half. Braden Carrington at the line for the Badgers. 2 years at Minnesota, then a year in Tulsa before coming to Wisconsin. A solid guard for them. He's averaging 5 points on the year, 70% from the line. His first of 3 free throws is up and good, nothing but net. Wisconsin cuts the lead to 7. Second shot, ditto. Michigan had a stretch of games earlier this season where they were in a really tight battle with Wake Forest and TCU, and then eventually started pulling away from teams, but this seems to be heading more towards that similar stretch.
I mean, a lot of those games, it was mainly due to issues with turnovers.
Right. Carrington misses the 3rd free throw. Michigan the other way. Roddy Gale Jr. on the left wing. Backing down Carrington. Gale trying to move Mara away, uses a Mara screen now and passes it to Mara down low. Mara turns, finds the rim, misses the first, puts it back, a knee bound for a dime Mara. 2 points, 23-15 Michigan. 11-13 remaining in the first half. Wisconsin the other way. Biliauskas at the top of the key. Handoff Carrington, he'll try another 3, a high arcing shot, no good off the front of the rim. Rebound off of Biliauskas. Michigan basketball. Biliauskas immediately motioning for a review. We'll see if Greg Gard utilizes a challenge. He's looking to his assistant coaches, and Michigan has already inbounded the ball. Too late for that. Greg Gard already has used his use it or lose it challenge timeout. Important to note, he's at 3 timeouts. Michigan the other way regardless. Roddy Gale Jr. into Mara at the short corner. Nice pass. Trey McKinney. It gets goaltended on a layup.
Yeah.
McKinney, a nice Laker cut. Had a great pass from Mara off glass. It was blocked off glass. That's a goaltend. 2 points for Michigan.
I mean, and then these big men for Michigan so far ran a clinic in the passing game. I mean, with Danny Wolf last year of how he created off the dribble, these Michigan big men are no slouches playmaking either.
Wisconsin the other way, a 10-point deficit. Biliauskas thinks about a 3 at the top of the key. They're letting him sit there wide open and think about that shot. Boyd now drives for Wisconsin. Bounce pass out to Blackwell. Swing to Winter, now back to Blackwell at the block end. Drives left, gets a switch on to Johnson Jr. Kick out. Biliauskas will try another 3. This one off the back rim as well. 0 for 3 is Alexis Biliauskas from 3. Michigan the other way. Trey McKinney drives towards the center. Spin move on Winter. Goes up, blocked by Winter. No good. Good defense by the Wisconsin big man in transition. Nick Boyd the other way. Approaching 10 minutes remaining in this first half. 25-15 Michigan. Boyd drives on Kaysen. Spins baseline. A reverse layup. No good. Rebound Johnson Jr. Michigan is running. Back and forth we go. 25-15. Kaysen picks up his dribble at the free throw line. Thinks about a jump shot. Will slow things down to Johnson Jr. Johnson Jr. tries a power dribble. Gets stripped by Boyd. Another turnover. Turnovers aplenty. Here we go in the first half. Nick Boyd for Wisconsin. Pull up 3 in transition. Another miss off the back rim. LJ Kaysen the rebound. There are 4 substitutes at the substitution table. Kaysen slows things down. Uses a screen from Johnson Jr. Passes to him on the pop. Now an entry pass to Adai Mara at the short wing on the left. Mara, dribble. Pass to McKinney on the right wing 3. No good. Long rebound, Biliauskas. Quickly up to Boyd. The lefty on the right side. Brings the ball back out, and it finds John Blackwell on the right wing. Drives baseline on Johnson Jr. Big power dribble. Gathers his steps and finishes for 2. And A whistle will stop action for the time being. Substitutes will get into the game. 25-17 Michigan. A long stretch of action. Wisconsin finally breaks the silence.
Yeah, a bit of an ugly stretch but there on both sides of the floor for both teams. John Blackwell finally gets matched up on the perimeter against Mers Johnson. Just beats him, blows by him, gets to the hoop.
Elliot Cadeau at the top of the key. Passes to Johnson Jr. on the right wing. Johnson, left-handed dribble, now spins back to the right. Hand to Lendeberg at the top of the key. Working on Nolan Winter. Cadeau, a swing, back to Lendeberg. Johnson Jr. at the left block. Working hard on Janicki. Baseline spin, off glass, too strong. The second time tonight we've seen Johnson Jr. use pure muscle to get 2 points. 27-17 Michigan, 8:32 left in the first half. Nick Boyd the other way for the Badgers. Pass to Andrew Rohde, drives towards the key, now reverses, brings the ball out. Pass to Bieliauskas, stolen by Lendeberg in transition, picks up a foul, throws a shot up at the rim, no good. He'll draw a trip to the line. Andrew Rohde, a poor pass, and then just decided to shut down the transition. Fouls Lendeberg. Lendeberg at the line, 4-2.
Yeah, and Rohde's going to pick up his second foul. I mean, that possession with Johnson right there, he just took Jack Janicki to town. And then Lendeborg, he's had a lot of these out on the perimeter near the midcourt where he just strips. He gets a strip, and he usually gets a highlight dunk. Rohde, they're able to recover.
Lendeberg rattles home the first. Mays Rage in a blue out tonight, or the Blue Rage. The Michigan student section has come alive with these Dusty May days. The end of the Juwan Howard era. It's pretty sparse for the students here at the University of Michigan. But Juwan Howard in his final season did beat Greg Gard. So a 3-game winning streak for these Badgers, for the Wolverines over the Badgers. Yeah,
one of Michigan's, I believe, 2 Big Ten wins that year.
Lendeberg hits both, the transfer from UAB. 29-17, 8:16 remaining in the first half. Nick Boyd drives right, gets a switch on to Johnson Jr. Crosses over through his legs twice, goes baseline, blows the layup, had an open shot. Rebound off of Axel Lendeberg, out of bounds. Will stay with Wisconsin.
Yeah, Nick Boyd struggling so far this game. He's 1 of 4 from the field. It's been a lot of John Blackwell so far for offensively for Wisconsin to have success.
20 on the shot clock. Baseline out of bounds for the Badgers. That ball went off of Lendeberg's hands. Boyd, inbound to the corner to John Blackwell. Drives and now brings the ball out. Now he's shadowed by Lendeberg in a low defensive stance. Picks up a screen from Nolan Winter on the left. Now Will Cheddar switches on to him. Andrew Rohde now back to John Blackwell. Cheddar forcing Blackwell left. Blackwell drives left, now spins back right. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound to Maury Burnett for the Wolverines. He brings the ball over the timeline the other way, slows down. Bounce pass left for Elliot Cadeau. Cadeau, short roll, Johnson Jr. goes vertical, hits the jumper.
Yeah, really smart play there by Johnson. Nick Boyd was right there for the charge, able to gets the floater up and nails it.
It's a great point. Boyd was in perfect position for a charge. Johnson went straight up in the air with that jump shot. Hits the 2-pointer. 31-17 Wolverines. Wisconsin the other way. Nick Boyd driving left, but a foul down low. Elliot Cadeau was matched up with John Blackwell. Cadeau a little too handsy.
Yeah, just
a foul away from the ball. 7:20 remaining in the first half. Under 8 timeout. 31-17 Michigan.
Yeah, Elliot Cadeau just picks up a little careless off the ball foul right there in the post. He's had a quiet game thus far. Not necessarily a great performance from so far. He's scoreless. Only 1 assist. If you're Michigan, you'll like to get when Michigan is playing their best basketball. It's when Elliot Cadeau is being able to be a great distributor and is able to knock down 3. Against Penn State, he was a 1 of 5 from 3. Really did not distribute the ball very well. For Michigan, you want to get back on track for the upcoming Big Ten play.
Michigan has seen a theme both these past 2 seasons of transfers picking up their game when they come to Michigan, right? We saw a number of players just turn into stars that they didn't know existed when they came to Michigan. Last year it was players like Danny Wolf and Vlad Gold and even Trey Donaldson, who became great players who could create on their own when they came to Michigan, turned into somewhat of NBA prospects as well. This season we've seen more of the same. Players who are more role players on power conference teams around the country have picked it up. Charlie, we've seen Merez Johnson Jr. turned into somewhat of a star when he came to Michigan, right? He was more of a role player at Illinois, although he was highly touted out of high school. Adai Mara, very similar story. Never figured it out in his 2 years at UCLA. He's come to Michigan, starting big, good contributor on the number 2 team in the country. Axel Lendeberg, on the other hand, was great at UAB, right? He's a National Player of the Year candidate right now, leading this team. What have you seen from these transfers and their ability to come together so far this season?
I mean, it's just how they've been utilized. I think with their previous programs, they didn't necessarily utilize their skill set completely, and Dusty Mays allowed them to really utilize every piece of how they play. I mean, Danny Wolf essentially turned into a point guard at Michigan last year. Ade Mara, he had very few minutes at UCLA despite the fact that the team really needed post presence. Comes to Michigan where he gets a lot more playing time. He's one of the best and he's established himself as one of the best post players and a unique challenge of how he can distribute the ball. Merez Johnson, again, was really a role player at Illinois last year. He was mainly a rebounder. Maybe he would get some post touches. But now Michigan here, when Johnson's on the court, the offense usually runs through him on back downs. He's really able to win one-on-one on defenders. So Dusty May has found a brilliant way of finding ways to utilize these players. Otherwise, and the talent's been there for these players the entire time. They've just not been utilized correctly. Same thing can be said about Elliot Cadeau at North Carolina. He had a lot of pressure on that team to be a star point guard, to be the next great Carolina guard behind guys like Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, and before and like Marcus Page, even dating back before that. So, I mean, he's found
Nate Britt, Joel Berry, name drops, that whole UNC guard heritage. You're right. He did have an opportunity there, but he's come to Michigan and been a great piece on this team.
Yeah, and he's much more comfortable with his role on this team.
He's also figured out his three-point shot. Wisconsin baseline out of bounds, inbound John Blackwell into the right corner. Blackwell dribbles out, has it at the block M. Shadowed by Roddy Gale Jr. Blackwell swings to Nick Boyd on the left wing. Boyd working on Burnett, back to Blackwell, now guarded by Lendeberg. Blackwell lets one fly and hits it. His second three of the night, a huge one, cuts the lead to 11. 6:57 remaining in the first half. Elliot Cadeau for the Wolverines at the block end. Drives right, goes off glass, can't finish. Rebound fought for, on the ground. 5 players on the ground. Now there's 8 on the ground. A scrum for the ball, destined for a jump ball, and it is. It'll be Wisconsin basketball. Hustle at the top of the Big Ten. Very much prevalent still in this era. Yeah, 31-20 Michigan.
And Elliot Cadeau on the drive, just not a great finish right there. Ball squirts out to Johnson, loses possession of it. It's just a scrum. Wisconsin gets with the possession arrow. Michigan will probably likely get the ball to start the second half.
Nick Boyd for the Badgers crosses the timeline. Backs down on Cadeau. Swings to Winter, now Blackwell. Blackwell, quick catch and shoot, corner 3, rattles around and home. Winter to Blackwell. Blackwell scored 6 unanswered. He was a big piece to keep on this team for Greg Garden. He's contributing right now, 31-23. Roddy Gale Jr. picks up a skip pass on the right corner, lets a 3 fly, no good. Rebound, foul on Elliot Cadeau. Nick Boyd grabs the rebound and emphatically claps his hands, pumping his team up. The deficit is down to 8, and Michigan scoreless for their last couple possessions.
Yeah, no. Elliot Cadeau picks up his second foul right there. He skied in, just got undercut, still picks up the foul. Not a great sequence for him.
He wasn't satisfied with either of those foul calls. 6:13 left in the first half. Winter, another stay over from Guards team last year. Moves the ball to Boyd on the right wing. Boyd, dribble handoff to Blackwell. Way up near the mid-circle. Blackwell drives left on Johnson, takes contact, goes up, draws a trip to the line. The layup's no good. Johnson protesting that he stayed vertical, to no avail. John Blackwell will head to the line looking for his 14th and 15th points of the night. 5:58 remaining in the first half. Johnson Jr. picks up his first foul.
Yeah, but a crowd not happy with that call. They thought he went vertical up there, still contact, so Blackwell will shoot his free throws.
Blackwell's first off the back rim. Student section pretty thrilled about that miss. Blackwell is a local kid for Michigan out of Bloomfield Hills. Michigan, but he went to Wisconsin. He's been there. It's now his 3rd season there, and he hits the 2nd free throw.
Yeah, Blackwell with his own 7-0 run here.
Cut the lead in half, 31-24 Michigan. Yaxel Lendeberg at the left wing. Uses the Johnson Jr. screen, now kicks to Burnett, and now Roddy Gale Jr. in the left corner. Entry pass to Johnson Jr. Backs his way in and spins home the layup. Whereas Johnson Jr. up to 8 on the night for the Wolverines. 33-24, 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Nick Boyd drives right on LJ Kaysen, down the lane, kick out wide open, Carrington 3, rims out. Rebound Johnson Jr. And he tries an outlet pass up to Gale. Instead it's intercepted by Winter. Joneke punishes on the other end. A turnover by Johnson Jr., 33-26. Joneke a dunk in transition. Burnett drives through the lane. Back out to Gale Jr. at the top of the key. Uses a Johnson screen. Gale, kick out LJ Kaysen at the left wing. Kaysen now at the top of the key. Working on Jack Joneke, who just had dunk on the other end. Now an entry pass into Johnson Jr. at the left short corner. Fade away, 2 is good. Tough move like Dirk. Johnson Jr. showing a little bit of skill here. Quickly the other way, there's a foul on Michigan. Lendeberg picks up the foul. He's protesting for a flop. Got almost a cross-checking call there as Blackwell hit the turf. 35-26. That's the 7th foul on Michigan, so that will put Wisconsin in the bonus and send them to the line. But Charlie, that shot by Johnson Jr. on the other end, we haven't really seen that from him this season.
I mean, yeah, and we never really saw him took threes this year at Illinois or even early in the season. Now he's expanded his game in all facets. He's probably Michigan's most efficient scorer at this point this year, and it's been very interesting to see it, especially with how underutilized he was at Illinois.
1-1 for John Blackwell. The first shot is up and good. 35-27. 4:44 remaining in the first half. Blackwell leading the way with 15.
I mean, really a one-man show through Wisconsin right now. John Blackwell just up to score total of 16 points. Wisconsin's 28. More than half the points have come from John Blackwell.
Yep. He hits the second. 35-28. Blackwell is coming out party against Michigan last season at the Kohl Center in Madison. This season, more of the same. Gale drives down the lane, throws a lob for Mara. Mara was not ready for it. He looks like he got a little beat up on the play. Boyd the other way, kick out for Blackwell. Now Joneke at the top of the key, lets a 3 fly. Not very close. Long rebound though, finds Nick Boyd. And Wisconsin will reset. John Blackwell drives towards the lane. Kick out, Bieliauskas lets a 3 fly. This one's good. He finally hits a 3, and the lead is cut to 4, 35-31. Wisconsin, a big run. Michigan looking for an answer. LJ Kaysen, kick out, Johnson Jr. 3, he hits it! Morez Johnson Jr., 13 of his own, keeping Michigan in front, 38-31. We've seen him have on games, we've seen him have off games, but this certainly seems like an on game. Nick Boyd drives left, picks up a reach and foul on Trey McKinney. The Michigan coaching staff not satisfied with that one. 38-31, we're at the under 4 timeout in the first half. 3:41 remaining. Wolverines up 7.
I mean, with the pressure that John Blackwell's been able to apply this Michigan defense, he is creating he's created opportunity for Bieliauskas for 3. And I mean, right now with Michigan, I mean, you are shooting well so far. You're at 38 points so far. Just on the defensive end, you have to generate stops, especially with Blackwell, because he has free reign on the offensive end for Wisconsin right now.
Media timeout here in Ann Arbor. Charlie, these teams have had 2 common opponents this season. Michigan's fared a little bit better against them than Wisconsin has.
Yeah, Wisconsin, they're in their early season tournament. They went down to Florida. They got to the championship game of their tournament. They played TCU, and TCU thoroughly beat them. Had an early season neutral site game against Villanova, and fell to them in overtime. Again, Michigan was able to beat TCU on the road in Fort Wayne in a tough game, and then Michigan in the Chrysler Center, I mean, dismantled the Villanova team. thoroughly within like the first 15 minutes. So I mean, but again, there's not a transitive property in college basketball. Every game's a new game, and Wisconsin so far here, they've showed up and competed.
On the second half, Akinremi and Gavin Briggs will be on the call for WCBN Sports. Don't go anywhere for that one. We're at the final segment here of the first half. Extended media timeout.
I mean, and we're waiting a 1-on-1 with Nick Boyd, 80% free throw shooter, likely to hit probably at least the front end. So Michigan looking to go in their next offensive possession, leading up by 5. I mean, this is a critical point right here in this game.
Yeah, what's the goal for the Wolverines? What's the line you said? Did you say get up double digits, or you say keep the lead a comfortable 8 before halftime?
I mean, if you're Michigan, you hope you can get double digits with how you can go on runs, of how you can get on transition and score quickly, and how you can generate offense. If you're up by Michigan at 10 this game, you're like, we got them, we're right where we want them, and you can use a big second half to finally pull away.
3:41 remaining in the first half. 38-31, Michigan leads Wisconsin. Nick Boyd at the line for a 1-and-1. John Blackwell leading the way for the Badgers. 16 points, hard-earned points. He's 3 for 4 from 3, 5 for 8 from the field for Michigan. They're led by Morez Johnson Jr. 6 for 6 from the field. Equals up to 13 points when you throw in that 3-point field goal. Also has 3 rebounds and an assist to go along with it. These teams battling in the Big Ten. Wisconsin sits at 2-2 in the conference. Michigan undefeated 4-0.
I mean, with Johnson, he's coming off one of his more disappointing performances in Happy Valley against Penn State. Only 3 points and fouled out.
First one is up and good for Nick Boyd. 38-32 Wolverines. Second shot on the way and good as well. No rim was grazed. 38-33 Michigan.
And Michigan likely without Laxell Endeboard for the rest of the first half. Picked up his second foul earlier.
Him and Cadeau both sitting on 2 fouls apiece. Trey McKinney at the left wing. Entry pass to Roddy Gale Jr. Thinking about backing down John Blackwell. Instead, he passes to Trey McKinney, who comes off his screen, hucks up a 3. Thought he got fouled. All air, but the rebound goes off the legs of Nick Boyd, so it will stay with Michigan. 10 on the shot clock for the Wolverines.
I don't know how you don't call that. I mean, he had a body in him in his landing zone, and just nothing. A lot of contact after shot. No foul. Strange decision right there.
LJ Kaysen entry pass into Adai Mara. Mara at the right corner. Backing down on Bieliauskas. Takes it himself. Righty hook off the side of the backboard. No good. Nick Boyd pushes. Wisconsin has a 2-on-1. LJ Kaysen, vertical defense. Blocked by Morez Johnson Jr. Kaysen quick the other way. Running the floor. Floats it. This one's blocked by Carrington. Nick Boyd was cherry picking the other way. An easy 2. Some run-out layups, 2 great blocks, and then Boyd finally gets his revenge. 38-35, Michigan lead down to 3. 2:46 remaining in the first half. Roddy Gale Jr. uses a double set of stagger screens, uses a Mara screen again. Kick out Johnson Jr. on the right wing. Now Mara, an entry pass into Gale Jr. It's intercepted by Carrington. Wisconsin goes the other way. A chance to tie, down 3. Boyd kicks to Blackwell, drives left, down the lane. Kick out. The pass goes through the legs of Alexis Bieliauskas and out of bounds. A turnover, just a low pass that the big Lithuanian could not corral.
Yeah, just an errant pass right there, too low. Slips right through his legs. Bieliauskas was right there in the corner for a 3.
2:20 remaining in the first half. Trey McKinney at the right wing. Pass to Mara at the right block. He's been there the past 2 possessions. They both resulted in turnovers or bad shots. Mara now swings a pass along the entire baseline. Caught by Trey McKinney, but as he moved, his foot was out of bounds. Some sloppy offense here for the Wolverines. Turnover. Will Cheddar checks into the game. 3 points is the deficit. Wisconsin on a little bit of a run. They have to feel like they're in a good spot right now. Michigan in a mid-season funk after a really successful string of action. 2 minutes flat remaining in the first half. Nick Boyd drives left on LJ Kaysen. Drives left on Trey McKinney now. And Mara comes over, blocks it off the backboard, and catches it himself. Pass up far in the air to Roddy Gale Jr. Drives down the lane, hangs, gets blocked off the front of the rim. Kick out. LJ Kaysen lets a three fly, rolls around a couple times and falls out.
Just a couple of tough breaks there for Michigan. You've had some good opportunities, just not great shot attempts.
Wisconsin the other way. 1.5 minutes remaining. John Blackwell working on Will Cheddar. He's been the man tonight for the Badgers. Swing pass, Nolan Winter, dribble handoff to Nick Boyd on the right wing now. Boyd eyeing up Kaysen, drives left, picks up his dribble, floater is good from the mid-range. Nick Boyd finds a two-pointer from the free throw line. 38-37, Michigan. And Michigan looking for an answer. A bench unit in right now for the Wolverines other than Mara, trying to find a way to produce some offense. LJ Kaysen for Michigan, taking his time at the block end. Under a minute to play in the first half. Kaysen drives right, picks up his dribble, now looking for help. Tries an entry pass into Mara, but there are 3 Badgers in the way. Could have been intercepted by all 3 of them. John Blackwell picks it off for Wisconsin. Blackwell, pass to Bieliauskas, handoff Carrington. Carrington drives left on McKinney. Kicks out Bieliauskas, a 3 for the lead. No good. Rebound, Will Cheddar. 6 seconds separating the game and shot clock. 30 on the game clock, 24 on the shot clock for the Wolverines. They'll take a timeout. They have a use it or lose it. They will use it rather than lose it. 38-37 Michigan, looking for one final possession to extend their lead just a little bit, clinging by a point. 38-37.
I mean, and these last possessions for the last 3 minutes this half, Michigan's looked just unorganized offensively. A lot of forced passes from Mara and Kaysen. I mean, a lot of these chances had no opportunities whatsoever. And if you're Michigan, you need to look to get a shot right here to have some momentum offensively going to halftime. You're not going to be without. You're going to be without Elliot Cadell. You're going to be without Yaxel Lindenberg. Mariz Johnson's not on the floor right now, which is surprising considering how productive it is. You're going to need someone else to. As speak of the devil, Yaxel Lindenberg is going to come out here with about 29.3 seconds left in the clock, hoping not to pick up a foul. We saw in the USC game, Barrick Musselman trot out Chad Baker-Mazar when he had 3 fouls in this kind of situation. He picked up a 4th, so this could be a little dangerous.
29.3 on the game clock, 23 on the shot clock. Michigan inbounds the ball. LJ Kaysen will dribble as much timeout as he can. Kaysen taking his time. Michigan up 1 at home. The number 2 team in the country. Up 1 against these Badgers who have struggled against power conference opponents this season. 13 on the game clock, 6 on the shot clock. Lindenberg drives down the lane, takes a big 2 steps, misses up the front of the rim. Rebound Bieliauskas, Boyd the other way, stripped by Lindenberg, and now he loses the ball. Shot at the buzzer by Wisconsin, no good. Disastrous by both teams. The result after 20 minutes, Michigan leads 38-37 over Wisconsin. A back and forth first half. Wisconsin closed the gap late. Promise you, Greg Gard will take it. Michigan goes into the half needing a strong start in the second half to extend their lead. After 20 minutes, 38-37, the lead is 1. Charlie, any parting thoughts on this first half?
I mean, yeah, and Michigan, again, for most of the half, for about the first 15 minutes of the half, they played the exact game you thought they would. I mean, they were getting inside, they were getting good looks, they were generating one-on-one opportunities, they were winning it. Second half, it says everything you do not want to see. I mean, they were giving up some open looks on the perimeter. They returned the ball over. They weren't finishing at the rim. And now Wisconsin's in this game. They have a good shot with this game and within this game right now. And it's going to be it's for Wisconsin still an uphill battle with how talented this Michigan team is and considering it's in Chrysler Arena. But they showed up and they're competing in this game thus far.
Thanks for tuning into the first half along with Charlie Mitchell. I've been Theo Shernoff. 2 great broadcasters on the call in the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just about 10 minutes on WCBN Sports.
Michigan Wolverines are proud to present the #1 halftime act in top featured entertainment for sporting events across the U.S. and has been featured internationally with his amazing display of acrobatics, balance, and athleticism. Simon and Lyric with Rolla Bola.
Chrysler Center. We are here in a close matchup between Michigan and Wisconsin.
Hello? Okay.
Testing, testing. Here we are. We're back in Ann Arbor in the Chrysler Center in a 38-37 contest between the Wisconsin Badgers and the Michigan Wolverines. This game has been a lot closer than I think we expected heading into this. Wisconsin has struggled against all of their Power 5 opponents. Michigan has been blowing out most every team they face, besides their latest one against Penn State. What are your biggest takeaways from this game so far?
You know, I've definitely seen it's been a battle for Michigan. As you can see, they've been in a scoring drought for about 4 minutes now. And I think it's getting to the point where they're getting a little bit comfortable because of how good they've been doing all season. Just like in the Penn State game, I think they won by just maybe 1 or 2 points. And I think that one thing I've also been seeing a lot from the Wisconsin team is Blackwell, who has scored 16 points. Normally he's averaging about 17 points per game, which is insane. But obviously we can see that with Michigan, it's definitely been scoring among many different players, like Lindeborg with 8 points, Mara with 7, Burnett with 3. Some of the key players that I've seen on this team today. What about you, Gavin?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, John Blackwell has been the story for the Wisconsin Badgers. He has scored a lot of points for them, almost half of them. They really have looked for him in every scoring opportunity. Their leading scorer on their team, Nick Boyd, he struggled just 3 for 9 from the field, but going back to Blackwell has been huge for them. Looking on the Michigan side, you have Perez Johnson Jr. He's had 13 points, yet to miss a shot. He's performed really well. What do you think that the Michigan team needs to do in the second half to bring themselves back to what they've been showing?
Yeah, I think something that Michigan definitely needs to do is continue with those 3-pointers, making sure that they're accurate with them, as well as their fouls. We've definitely seen that sometimes when Michigan tends to get fouls, they're letting up those smaller points up. As we also saw with Mara, when it was time for him to do his free throws, he let a point up. So it's definitely important that they continue to make sure that even if it's the small points that they're keeping track of them.
Yeah, definitely going to be a big half for the Michigan Wolverines. They've been good all season long. They're going to need to bring it in this second half. Wisconsin is here to play.
Yes. And the game is just getting started. 38-37, Michigan Wolverines in the lead.
We have Desmond Howard giving a little chant for the team, and Elliot Cadeau will take the inbounds pass to start the second half. Mara now, top of the key. He will pass to Lindeborg on the left wing, back down to Mara in the post. He'll just put up the hook shot, and that is good. Michigan 40, Wisconsin 37. Now here is Nick Boyd bringing it across the half court, guarded by Cadeau. He'll give it up to Rowdy, guarded by Johnson. Rowdy up to Bieljauskas. He will hit the 3. That is his second 3 of the night. Now, Perez Johnson on the right wing for Michigan. Up to Yaxel Lindeborg. He's going to drive to the basket. He's going to get blocked, and it will end up out of bounds off of Wisconsin. That'll go back to Michigan. Both teams playing fast here to start the second half.
Yes, 100%, especially with that 3. We're here at 40 tied currently, 19 minutes left in the game.
Cadeau, the inbounder, he'll get it to Burnett on the left corner. He gives it up to Mara. Mara faces up, get to the basket, reverse layup, no good. Now up to Boyd. Boyd's going to take it across half court and give it up to Winters. Blackwell in the corner. Blackwell back out to Winters for the 3. That's good. Wisconsin is up 43-40 over the Michigan Wolverines. Cadeau here now. Receives a screen, passes it Lendeborg to Burnett in the corner. Burnett's going to drive on Rowdy. Burnett will be fouled. That foul is going to be on Andrew Rowdy.
2 threes in a row now for Wisconsin. It's the first time that Wisconsin has been in the lead in this game today with 3 points ahead of Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan earlier in the game, they were leading by 14 with 7 minutes left, and now down 3. It's Burnett will load up for his first free throw here. Burnett, the graduate player out of Chicago, Illinois, he will knock down the first. He's traveled around a couple different places. He started his career in Texas Tech, spent 2 years at Alabama, and this is now his 3rd season with the Wolverines.
And a free throw good for Burnett as he takes his second one.
Second free throw is up, and it is good. Michigan now down 42-43. It's going to be Boyd, lead ball handler for this team. Boyd's going to kick it out to Winters in the left wing. Back up to Boyd, right around the M logo. He's going to receive a screen from Bieljauskas. Bieljauskas gets the ball back for 3. That's good yet again. He is now 3 for 6. He was struggling in the first half, and he's back. Cadeau here now. Receives a screen from Johnson. Johnson going to take a jab step. He's going to lose the ball, kick it back out to Cadeau. Cadeau, top of the key 3, off the backboard and in. Elliot Cadeau with the 3.
Definitely what Michigan needs to see right now. Great 3 by Cadeau after Bieljauskas definitely getting back into his groove during the second half of the game.
Nick Boyd going to bring the ball back out to the left wing after driving inside. He's guarded by Mara. He's going to get inside, kick it out to Bieljauskas for yet another one. That's going to be good. We're going to have a good basket and a foul on Wisconsin, but Bieljauskas with another 3. He is on fire right now. That is 3 in this second half. Puts Wisconsin up 49-45 with 17:48 to go. Roddy Gale Jr. going to sub in here.
Yes, Bieljauskas has definitely proven what it is to be on the team. Freshman forward from Lithuania. Played in the Lithuanian League last year and is now at Wisconsin.
Axel Lendeborg, top of the key. He's going to be around the free throw line. Kick it to Gale in the corner. Pump fake. Drives inside. He's going to work on Blackwell and in for the layup. Good move from Roddy Gale. Here's Blackwell back up to Carrington on the left wing. Blackwell gets the ball back. Receives a screen from Bieljauskas. Blackwell, top of the key, guarded by Merez Johnson. Kicks it out to Winters. Winters gives it up to Nick Boyd, guarded by Namari Burnett. Nick Boyd going to drive into the basket. He's going to kick it back out to Bieljauskas, and he will hit his 4th of the second half. Alexis Bieljauskas. Elliot Cadeau now gets the ball inside. He's going to be fouled. Going to give it to him on the shot there.
Insane work by Bieljauskas. Normally averaging 4 points per game, has already gotten 17 points for Wisconsin just today.
Yeah, Alexis Bieljauskas has been a player somewhat in and out of the rotation for the Badgers here, but as the last month or so, he's kind of held his own. He's started to get more minutes, and he's had a couple good games for them, but he's not really much of a scorer. But today, the Wolverines are leaving him open, and he's knocking them down. Michigan is down 52-47.
That's a 5 points in the lead, Wisconsin, with 16 more minutes left. Elliot Cadeau up for free throws.
Cadeau gets ready for his first here. Elliot Cadeau, the transfer guard out of UNC. He's been huge for this team. It's their main source of playmaking. He's going to knock down the first. This Michigan team has really been bolstered by transfers this season and last season as well. Dusty May done a great job in the portal as Cadeau will knock down his second. Michigan now in a press here as Nick Boyd bring the ball up, get to the basket and in over Johnson and Gale. It's Cadeau now over the timeline, receives a screen from Burnett. Cadeau working on Blackwell. He's going to get into the basket and just lay it right up and in. Great play from Elliot Cadeau. John Blackwell now going back the other way for Wisconsin. Blackwell's going to be guarded by Marez Johnson. Now it's up to Nick Boyd, guarded by Namari Burnett. Nick Boyd calling off the screen from Winters, calls on for the screen from Bielyauskas. Marez Johnson going to switch on to Nick Boyd. Nick Boyd going to drive into the basket on the left side, put up a hook shot from the block, and it is in. Now Elliot Cadeau with Michigan down 56-51. Cadeau going to attack Carrington, get to the rim and puts it in. 56 for Wisconsin, 53 for Michigan with 15:55 left in the second half. John Blackwell receives a screen from Winters. Over to Boyd on the right wing, back to Blackwell. Now to Carrington on the left wing. Blackwell to Boyd. Boyd's going to take the deep three, and that is good. He's left almost completely open by Namari Burnett there.
Wisconsin has been shooting threes after threes after threes. Michigan is definitely feeling the intensity with the second half of the game, but are definitely trying to keep their own 2 points.
To the basket again. He's going to get an and one layup, and we're going to get a media timeout here.
The first timeout for Michigan with 59-55, Wisconsin in the lead. 15 minutes left of the second half today. How do you feel about this game so far, Gavin?
I think that Michigan is really focusing on leaving Wisconsin open from three, and it's just not working. You have Bielyauskas, who's not been much of a shooter this season. He's shooting 29% from three, but he's done a great job today. He's 5 for 9. That's kind of been their biggest problem, is they're allowing Wisconsin as a whole to just take as many shots as they want. But Michigan is 5 of their last 5 on their field goals. Cadeau with their last 6 points. Going to need to see some more from them and some more from Cadeau, but they also need to limit their turnovers. I mean, they've had 8 turnovers in this game.
Yes, I definitely agree with your statement. They're definitely leaving room for Wisconsin to take those leads and three-pointers by Bielyauskas as well as Boyd at the moment. But I definitely realize that it seemed like they are definitely underestimating Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is definitely taking advantage of that. So it's really just for Michigan to look at them up to par and making sure that they're not leaving any room for those threes.
Yeah, look at Wisconsin's top scorers. They have Alexis Bielyauskas leading the team with 17. John Blackwell with 16, yet to score in the second half. And then Nick Boyd with 16 as well. He's crept up sneakily up to that 16 points per game. He's averaging, 16 in today's game. He's averaging 19. This Wisconsin team is scrappy. They're good. They've really not shown much against their top opponents, but today they're really showing that they can compete with the upper echelon of the Big Ten.
Yes, 100%.
This team last year, Wisconsin, kind of burst onto the scene late, ended up finishing well in the Big Ten, and then in the Big Ten tournament lost to this Michigan team. Obviously a very different team from Michigan, but a lot of holdovers on the Wisconsin team. So they've seen Michigan before. They want to avenge that loss from last season, and they're doing a good job in the second half.
Yes, for sure. They came into the second half with power, but I do hope that Michigan continues to takes over the lead once again, leaving them as the winning team, putting us at 15-0.
What have you noticed from Yaxel Lendeborg in this game, but also in the last few?
I've definitely noticed that Yaxel Lendeborg has been one of the more star players when it comes to Michigan and putting up points. Currently, he has 8 points for Michigan. While not in the lead, he's definitely a very key player with layups, three-pointers, and everything. What do you think?
Yeah, he's great. He can score all 3 levels. It's just interesting to notice kind of the back seat on the scoring end that he does take at times. I know that he's not a isolation scorer that's going to go score every time up and down the court, but I think you expected a little more from him on the scoring side, but he's still been great for this team and a huge pickup. He's a National Player of the Year contender. Cadeau is going to take yet another free throw. This is his 3rd of the second half. And it is good. Wisconsin up 59-56 with 15:26 left in the second half. Going to be Nick Boyd, guarded by Roddy Gale here. Boyd slowing it down for Wisconsin. Bilyauskis sets the screen but slips. You get the switch from Michigan. Carrington left wide open. I don't know what happened there, miscommunication, but he's going to hit the three. Burnett's going to load up the transition three, and he's good. 62 Wisconsin, 59 Michigan.
Michigan and Wisconsin definitely go 3 for 3 over here, making sure they're getting those key three-pointer scores to keep them from getting into the lead.
There's going to be a foul there. It's going to be on Amari Burnett right as Wisconsin crossed the base or the half-court line. It's going to be the first foul for Michigan in the second half, and Burnett's first of the game. 14:50 in the second half. Wisconsin 62, Michigan 59. Nick Boyd guarded by Roddy Gale. Nick Boyd's going to get to the basket. Help from Amari Burnett. Boyd finds Blackwell, finds Carrington. Carrington going to get it up to Blackwell. Blackwell, top of the key. Roddy Gale with the switch, and no good from Blackwell as Cadeau pushes it, gets it up to Lendeborg in the right corner. Lendeborg down to Merez Johnson in the post. Good defense from Wisconsin, but there's going to be a late foul call there. That one's going to be on Alexis Bilyauskis, his third foul of the game. Big for Michigan to get him in foul trouble, as he's probably going to head out here for a little bit. Merez Johnson going to take his first shots of the second half. Yet to take anything so far. He's the Wolverines' leading scorer with 13, the Illinois transfer. The shot is up, and it is good. It's going to be 60 points for Michigan as they are now down 62-60. What have you noticed from the big men lineups that Dusty May likes to run? We started the game with Lendeborg, Merez Johnson, and Adai Mara.
Yeah, I definitely know that Dusty May definitely tried to put his bigger players and stronger leaders when it comes to points up at the front, starting the game. Definitely trying to make sure that there's a good foundation for the game. But then also, he is very good at rotating his players and making sure that each person has a key part in the game. As you can see that every single person who has been on the court at the moment has put up points for the team. Cadeau with 12, Burnett 8, Gale Jr. with 2, Johnson Jr. 14 in the lead, and Lendeborg at 8.
Merez Johnson missed the free throw, and Wisconsin responded with the Nolan Winters 3. Cadeau is going to get to the basket. He will be fouled. You know, another interesting thing about this Wisconsin team is they actually match up size-wise fairly well with Michigan. Michigan's had the size advantage in a lot of their games. We just talked about the 3 big lineup. As much as Lendeborg is not traditional 4 or 5 man, he does play a lot bigger than a lot of other teams. So Michigan is constantly running Adai Mara, 7'3". Then you have Lendeborg and Merez Johnson. So Wisconsin coming in with 3 7-footers has been huge for them in being able to defend the bigger players on Michigan. And Cadeau is going to make his free throw. It's going to be 65-61 Wisconsin. 13:51 left in the second half as Cadeau gets ready for his second free throw. Cadeau, 4 field goals made from today, 2 assists, and he is going to knock down the second free throw. It is 65 Wisconsin, 62 Michigan. Nick Boyd crosses the timeline. He will get the screen. That's from Will Garlock. Boyd guarded by Gale. Gets it back to Garlock. He's going to get it off the dribble handoff. And great defense from Roddy Gale here. Nick Boyd getting doubled over to Nolan Winters. Over to Garlock, and Garlock is going to throw it away. That one was intended for Andrew Rowdy, but it is going to be a turnover for Wisconsin instead.
That's great hustle by Michigan, making sure that shot clock definitely runs out.
And Will Garlock is going to substitute out after that turnover. He was in for Bilyauskis, but Greg Gard decided that he would rather have his starter in. Cadeau here receives a screen from Mara. He's going to spot up for 3, and that is the 7th straight shot made for the Wolverines. Elliot Cadeau, 4-3, 17 points.
Boy, great job by Cadeau, 17 points, leaving us now at a tie against leaving Michigan at a tie against Wisconsin with 13 more minutes on the clock.
It's going to be a foul there. That one's going to be on Namari Burnett. As you said, 65-65 here in the Chrysler Center. As Trey McKinney is going to enter, he's going to replace Burnett. And Wisconsin's going to have the ball at the baseline for the inbounds. Inbounder is going to be Nick Boyd. Mara guarding him on the inbounds. Interesting size matchup there. And that's going to be a timeout from Wisconsin as they were about to get a 5-second violation. Great job from the Wolverines on the defensive end. We will return with 13:01 on the clock after the timeout. What have you noticed about this latest run from the Michigan Wolverines?
One thing I've definitely noticed from the Michigan Wolverines today is that despite the challenges that they have, always find a way to come through. And that could even be seen here with that latest three by Elliot Cadeau, leaving them now at a tie, which is incredible for them because hopefully we can see them in possession of the ball more and with the higher lead against Wisconsin.
Michigan in their last one beats Penn State by 2. Struggle of a game for a lot of it. They were able to take the lead late. Penn State not able to get a good shot up late in that one. But previously, they've been beating teams by 30-plus points. I mean, they have been on an incredible run of just completely uncompetitive basketball games. The latest game that was even slightly competitive was the TCU game, which was in November. They spent the entire month of December dominating teams, came into the new year, dominated at the time ranked USC team, struggled against Penn State in Penn State. Going to need to pull away in the last 13 minutes here from Wisconsin, who has been competing really well.
Yes, 100%. Michigan has definitely been doing such a great job this season, with many of their games having over 100 points against the different people that they have played, the different teams they've played. And we can even see, they have so many great players, especially when it came to the transfer portal. Dusty May definitely has done a great job with this team that he has put together this season.
Wolverines last season, Sweet 16 appearance, Big Ten tournament champions, looking to repeat that this year and more. The rest of their schedule for the month, they're at Washington January 14th, then continue that West Coast road trip at Oregon on the 17th. Come back home for 3 straight. They play Indiana, Ohio State, and Nebraska. That one will be an interesting game as Nebraska won their game earlier against a very good Indiana team. They were down 16 at one point, but Indiana was able to pull it out. Or Nebraska was able to pull it out, sorry. Nebraska is still undefeated. They are having their best start to the season in school history. And then the Wolverines will end this month at Michigan State in the Breslin Center. Huge interstate matchup, big rivalry game for the Wolverines, and that'll be a big barometer for how they stack up in the Big Ten. Wolverines team is the best in recent memory, as Nick Boyd will yet again be the inbounder for Wisconsin. Mara is going to guard him on the inbounds. The Michigan Wolverines have Adai Mara, Roddy Gale Jr., Trey McKinney, Elliot Cadeau, and Yaxel Lendeboard on the court. Nick Boyd, Nolan Winters. You have Rowdy, Blackwell, and Bilyauskis for Wisconsin. Blackwell, top of the key, guarded by Lendeboard. Blackwell going to get towards the basket. Ball's going to be tipped by Roddy Gale. Bilyauskis is going to take a contested 3. It's going to be off. Lendeboard goes up for the rebound, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds off of Lendeboard. It's going to be Wisconsin basketball. Blackwell a little shaken up there, it seems. He's going to stick in the game. Michigan's done a good job limiting John Blackwell in the second half. They match Lendeborg up on him, and he's done a great job using his size.
Yes.
Here's going to be Nick Boyd bringing the ball out to the wing. This is to Winters. Now Blackwell. Blackwell guarded by Cadeau. Gets the switch onto Mara. Mara, he's going to take the shot over Adai Mara, and it's going to be good. John Blackwell for three. 68-65 Wisconsin. Roddy Gale going to get the ball to Adai Mara on the post. He's going to find Lendeborg cutting. Ball's tipped away, and it's going to be blocked. Lendeborg going to be blocked, and he is 2 for 6 today. Blackwell now on the left wing, guarded by Trey McKinney, and it's going to be an off-ball foul called on Nolan Winters. Michigan going to get the basketball back. John Blackwell, right after I mentioned that his struggles in the second half, just like clockwork for three, shoots right over the giant Adai Mara, the UCLA transfer. Now it's going to be Cadeau taking the ball up. He's going to cross the timeline. He's guarded by Nick Boyd. Finds Roddy Gale, who's going to drive to the basket. Nice spin move around John Blackwell for the layup. 68-67 Wisconsin. Nick Boyd has the ball on the right wing. He's going to attack Gale. He's going to get to the basket, and he lays it high up off the glass and in. 70-67 Wisconsin. Cadeau goes to work on Nick Boyd. Takes a tough floater, and it's going to be good. Elliot Cadeau showing off the scoring chops today. This is going to be 70-69 Wisconsin. Teams are going back and forth. Nolan Winters going to give it to Blackwell off the dribble handoff. Blackwell gets the switch onto Cadeau. Loses his dribble and will travel. Wolverines basketball on the sideline after the media timeout. These teams are going back and forth. Michigan, 9 for their last 10. Elliot Cadeau, 19 total points. He has been huge for the Wolverines in the second half.
Cadeau has been doing such a great job for the Michigan Wolverines. He has 19 points up on the board. Recently with the turnover with the layup by Cadeau, Blackwell also putting a lot of points up for Wisconsin as well with 19 points, 70-69 with Wisconsin in the lead.
Going to have about 11 minutes left here in the second half once they come back from the media timeout. This has been a great game here in Chrysler Center. The first game with students back in classes. The Maze Rage is rocking all day. Full house today. This has been a big shift in culture from the previous coaching staff. You had just 2 years ago, this building would have been almost empty for this game. And we have a sold out crowd here in the Chrysler Center.
Yes, 100%. We've definitely seen such a great turnout today in the Chrysler Center with Michigan Wolverines fans all here to celebrate our Wolverine basketball team. Such a great energy, and I definitely can feel that the Wolverines are feeding off of it today.
Rest of the events for the weekend. Tonight, there's a home hockey game against Notre Dame. Number 1 ranked Wolverines beat the team from South Bend last night. And tomorrow, the women's basketball team plays as well. They will be honoring Diane Dietz in the contest against Wisconsin. It's going to be a fun game for the next 11 minutes.
Yes, we hope to see
The Wolverines have had great contributions by their top players. Their guards, other than Cadeau, have somewhat struggled today. Trey McKinney, 2 for 6 on his field goals. Just 1 for 4 from 3. You have LJ Kaysen yet to make a shot. And Roddy Gale has also struggled a little bit here today. He's 2 for 4, but a couple turnovers that were not helpful in that first half. But we'll see how they will finish this game out. On the court is going to be Mara, Cheddar, LJ Kaysen, Yaxel Lundeborg, I believe Namari Burnett. Wisconsin's going to bring out Bilyauskis, Rowdy, Blackwell. They're going to have Jack Janicki out there and Nick Boyd. It's Trey McKinney on the court instead of Namari Burnett. Yaxel Lundeborg going to get the ball to LJ Kaysen off of the inbound. Kaysen gives it to Lundeborg at the free throw line. He makes a move, puts up the floater.
And Michigan is in the lead, 71-70. What a great layup by Lundeborg.
10:40 left in the second half as Blackwell gives it up to Janicki, over to Nick Boyd, Bilyauskis to Rowdy. Rowdy to Janicki in the corner, the left-hander. He misses the three as Mara with the rebound gives it up to Kaysen. Kaysen gives it to Mara at the top of the key, over to Cheddar in the right corner, back to Kaysen as Kaysen will dribble with it. He's going to lose the ball, but he'll grab it. McKinney now in the corner. He's no good. It's going to be corralled by Wisconsin. Nick Boyd now guarded by Yaxel Lundeborg. Nick Boyd going to drive to the basket. Mara's going to help, and Nick Boyd just throws it at the rim. No good. LJ Kaysen with the ball. He's guarded by Rowdy. Over to Yaxel Lundeborg on the right wing. Lundeborg shoots over Nick Boyd. No good. Ball tipped up in the air and corralled by Will Cheddar. He's going to be fouled by Nick Boyd. McKinney tipped it up in the air. Cheddar grabs the rebound. Gets ran into by Boyd. They call the foul, and Nick Boyd's on the ground. Going to get picked up. Hobbling a little bit, but Janicki's going to sub out for Braden Carrington. Nick Boyd's going to stay on the court. A little bit of bodies flying around off of that rebound. Looks like Janicki is going to replace Nick Boyd here. And Will Cheddar will be shooting free throws as Wisconsin is already in the bonus with 8 fouls. Big for the Wolverines as they finish this game out. 71-70 Michigan, 9:37 left in the second half. Will Cheddar will make the first of his 1-and-1, now 72-70. Will Cheddar, one of the only holdovers from the previous era under Juwan Howard. Spent multiple years here. He is the senior for the Wolverines, their 6th man. He is going to knock down the second free throw. He is a high-energy player who is loved by the Wolverine fans. Now Rowdy going to bring the ball up, guarded by Roddy Gale. They're going to call a push-off off of Rowdy. It's going to be another turnover for Wisconsin, and Michigan is on a 6-0 run.
Wisconsin now with 9 fouls. Insane. Michigan 73-70 against the Wisconsin with a 3-point lead.
Roddy Gale, 500 points at Michigan, flashing up on the screen. LJ Kaysen going to get the inbounds. Merez Johnson Jr. replaced Yaxel Lundeborg. Trey McKinney replaces Adai Mara. Roddy Gale on the left wing with the ball, guarded by Blackwell. He's going to get to the basket. No good. Ball's bouncing around. It's going to get saved by Carrington. Nick Boyd's got it. He's facing pressure from Kaysen and Gale. Over to Carrington. Barely beat the 10-second clock. Blackwell now on the right wing, guarded by McKinney. He's going to push off of McKinney, but McKinney's body's there. It's going to be a foul on McKinney and one from John Blackwell. 73-72 Wisconsin. Great job from Blackwell there. You have McKinney, who's not in a great guarding position. You bounce into him, you get the foul, finish from the free throw line area. And he is a phenomenal scorer. He was a big piece for them last season. He was on the All Big Ten tournament team, honorable mention All Big Ten. He was an all-freshman player 2 seasons ago, and he will knock down the free throw. 73-73 with 8:50 left in the second half. LJ Kaysen sees a screen from Johnson over to McKinney in the left corner, and it's going to be tipped by Carrington. Michigan's going to hold on to the ball here with 17 on the shot clock. Roddy Gale will be the inbounder for the Wolverines. It's going to give the ball back to LJ Kaysen across half court. Receives a screen from Will Cheddar. Working on Janicki here is Kaysen. Kaysen driving to the basket, puts it up with his left, no good. Rebound from Wisconsin. Nick Boyd over to Carrington, left wing, back to Boyd, top of the key. Boyd gives it up to Winters. Now Janicki in the corner, guarded by Kaysen. Perez Johnson guarding Nick Boyd, now top of the key. Nick Boyd gets to the basket, and left-hand finish. 75-73 Wisconsin. LJ Kaysen to Roddy Gale. Roddy Gale Jr. gets to the basket over to Perez Johnson, who will be fouled in the post. We're going to have an under 8-minute media timeout here as the score is 75-73. Wisconsin with the lead. 7:57 left in the second half. Michigan will be shooting 2 free throws when they return. This is a state of physical game from both teams. Wisconsin with a lot more plays that have turned into fouls, but both teams are definitely focusing on using their size. Nick Boyd, that's going to be his 4th foul, so he's in big foul trouble for the Badgers. He has been key for them. He has 20 points. John Blackwell with 22.
This has definitely been a difficult game for the Wolverines. The intensity is definitely there.
Late in the Penn State game, you saw Dusty May smirking, smiling about his team in a situation that most coaches may not be smiling about. A game that you're competing with the team that's seen as inferior as you, but Dusty May knew that this team needed some tough ones. So they win in Penn State on Tuesday. Now they're here on Saturday in another tough game against Wisconsin. This is where you prove yourself as a team. You don't want to head into March without any experience in close games.
Yes, for sure. I definitely think that this is going to be a good learning experience for this team, because it's definitely been a tough game, but Michigan has definitely been keeping its own.
Yeah, and Wisconsin has ran their starters a lot in this game. You've seen a lot of Nick Boyd and John Blackwell. Blackwell with 31 minutes played with 32 minutes of game time elapsing so far. So he has sat just 1 minute. Nick Boyd is going to come out after that media timeout. We're going to get Zach Hinzinger in for Wisconsin. It's going to be his first minutes. You have Elliot Cadeau and Yaxel Lendeborg checking in for LJ Kaysen and Will Cheddar here. Wolverines have not made a shot in 3 minutes now. They were on a hot streak run for a little bit there. Now they're struggling to shoot again. Both teams shooting well from the field. 53% from Wisconsin, 52% from Michigan. Wisconsin with 14 made threes. You talked about the threes earlier. That has been the story of this one for Wisconsin.
Yes, 100%. Michigan definitely had power in the beginning of the second half, and I hope they can really bring that back into this game as we are heading into 8 minutes left of the second half.
Yeah, we'll see if they can grab that momentum back, swing it back in their direction. You have Nolan Winter is a big swing piece for this Wolverines team. He is a 7-foot big man out of Lakeville, Minnesota. He started every game for them last season. He's been averaging 18 points per game over their last 5 games. Today he has 9, but he's 3 for 3 from 3. Has not taken anything besides a 3. Perez Johnson's going to line up for the free throw. He's going to knock down the first thanks to the bonus from Wisconsin. 75-74 Wisconsin. Going back to Winter, he has been an all-around player for them. I mean, he is just one block and one steal today, but he has been huge for them in the defensive end. They need him on both sides of the ball to be impactful if they're winning games. He's been pretty impactful in this one as Johnson makes the second to tie it up at 75. John Blackwell at half court, guarded by Roddy Gale. Winter going to set a screen. He's going to get the ball off of it. Now back to Blackwell. Blackwell getting to the basket, driving left. Going to bounce off his foot, and it's going to go off of him. It's going to be Michigan basketball.
Yeah, so definitely seen Winter. He started every single game last season for the Wisconsin Badgers. Now we are at a tie against Wisconsin. Michigan's at a tie against Wisconsin, 75-75 with 7.5 minutes left.
Cadeau here over to Lendeborg on the left wing. He's going to get a screen from Johnson. Johnson's going to roll to the basket. Lots of passing coming from this Michigan team. Trey McKinney in the corner misses. Ball's going to bounce out of bounds off of Michigan. Badger basketball. Great job from the Wolverines passing the ball around. That one a little tight there. Could have been off of both teams. Looks like they may take a look at it here. Great passing from the Wolverines on that last possession. You had Lendeborg gets down to the post, swings it to the wing, goes to the top of the key, back to the wing, to the corner. Fortunately, no good on the shot there, but reminds you of some of the top Spurs basketball teams from back in the day. The unselfishness from this Wolverines team is key, and you see it all of the time. And Dusty May will challenge this call. What are you seeing on the replay here? Do you think this is off of Wisconsin or Michigan?
To be honest, I really can't tell. I'm thinking Wisconsin, but it really is up to the refs. And the CMA did challenge it for a reason, so hopefully it is in favor of the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. It is a very tough call to see from the video board here. We'll see what the referees call in a minute here, but Michigan competing well with the Wisconsin team that is red hot from three. It is very rare that you will see a team make 14 threes through 30 minutes of play and not win a game. This Michigan team has been so good defensively. It's been almost uncharacteristic to see the struggle here. And the call will be overturned. It's going to be Michigan basketball on the baseline. Referees will admit their mistake there. Wolverines have a chance to replace the missed basket. Amari Burnett going to sub in for Trey McKinney there. We're going to see Elliot Cadeau inbound the ball. Cadeau, he's going to find Burnett in the corner. Burnett going to give it to Merez Johnson. Still yet to take a shot in the second half. Roddy Gale here. He's going to drive on Bielyauskas. He's going to kick it out to Burnett in the corner. He's going to miss. Johnson can't get the rebound. Blackwell's going to pick it up. Blackwell's going to give it to Carrington. Give it back to himself. Now John Blackwell's here. He has it on the right wing. Picks up his dribble. Over to Winters. To Carrington. Guarded by Cadeau. Left wing. Carrington to Bielyauskas. Back to Winters. Winters for three. No good. Carrington is there for the putback, but he's going to get fouled. We're going to have 2 free throws here for Braden Carrington. That foul is going to be on Yaxel Lendeborg, his 3rd foul of the game. He's now in a bit of foul trouble for the Wolverines. Been a pretty good game here turnover-wise for both teams. 10 for Wisconsin, maybe a little higher than you'd like, but 8 for the Wolverines. The Wolverines are such a fast-paced team that they do often turn the ball over, so good for them to keep it under 10 so far. And Carrington's going to make the first free throw to put it at 76. 75 with 6:40. Carrington knocks down the second. 77 Wisconsin, 75 Michigan. 6:36 left in the second half as Cadeau brings the ball up. Cadeau over to the left corner to Burnett. Burnett kicks it to Gale. Back to Cadeau. Cadeau, Burnett under the basket. Perez Johnson's going to put it up. He's going to be fouled by Nolan Winters. We're going to get 2 more free throws from Perez Johnson Jr. here. Perez Johnson Jr. has been huge for the Wolverines this season. What have you noticed from him? What has he brought to this team?
Perez Johnson has definitely put so many points up for this team today with 16 points. He's definitely been a powerhouse at making sure that they're keeping up with the pace of Wisconsin as well.
Such an efficient player. 67.9% from the field goals on the season. 6 for 6 today. He's going to knock down the free throw. Johnson, an 80% free throw shooter as a big man. Not what you typically see, but he shoots better than you thought going into the year. He didn't really shoot much at Illinois this year, but he's been a pretty good mid-range and three-point shooter. Not taking a lot, but he's going to make the second free throw here.
We are tied once again.
Yeah, back knotted at 77. 6:23 left to go here. Rowdy is going to get the ball for the Badgers. Rowdy over to Bieljauskas on the right wing. Over to Winters. Carrington on the left wing. To Bieljauskas. Now to John Blackwell. Blackwell guarded by Lendeborg. Blackwell to the left corner. Now to Carrington. Carrington drives to the basket. Mara there. Going to be a foul on Adai Mara. Braden Carrington's going to get 2 free throws here. Lots of free throws here for both teams. Michigan has not made a shot in 5 minutes. Not attempted very many, but not made one.
Yes, for sure. You're definitely seeing a drought with Michigan now. With 5 minutes and they haven't made any points. We are less than 6 minutes left to go of this game, and Michigan is tied against Wisconsin.
What would you like to see Michigan do to get back on track from the field goals?
I do believe that one thing that could help Michigan in this game is getting those threes and making sure they're very accurate and precise, especially using their key players who are good at putting points up, as you can see with Cadeau, Johnson Jr., Lendeborg.
Carrington is going to knock down both free throws to put Wisconsin back up. 79-77, 5:54 left in this game. Elliot Cadeau to Lendeborg. Lendeborg gets to the basket. He's going to push Blackwell down. No call. He'll make the layup. We're back tied at 79. 5:36 left. Carrington is going to bring the ball up. Lendeborg fully trying to lock down Blackwell. Not even trying to let him get the ball. Winters has the ball on the left wing. Over to Bieljauskas. Now Blackwell guarded by Cadeau. To Nolan Winters. Blackwell on the left wing. He's going to drive on Perez Johnson Jr. Take a tough mid-range shot on the baseline. And it is good. 81-79 Wisconsin with 5:02 left to play. Here we have Lendeborg. Over to Burnett on the left wing. He's going to pump fake, get inside, and 2-hand slam. Adai Mara seals the big man. Leaves a wide open lane for Burnett.
What a great block.
Back at 81.
Such a great block by Adai Mara with that defense, for sure. Oh, another great block by Lendeborg.
Big block as Blackwell goes to the basket. Lendeborg trailing and will swat it out of bounds. Huge defensive play from Yaxel Lendeborg. He is not just a great offensive player, but he can do everything defensively as well. Blackwell is going to knock it off of Michigan, back out of bounds. 81-81, 4:40 in the second half as Nick Boyd is going to sub back in for the Badgers. Roddy Gale going to come in for Adai Mara. We are in crunch time here. Under 5 minutes, tied game. Nick Boyd gets the ball off of the inbounds. Boyd has Roddy Gale guarding him at the top of the key. Bielyauskas sets a screen. Boyd gets to the basket. There's going to be a foul called on Mara there. Unsure, maybe a body block at the bottom there, but Nick Boyd's going to take 2 free throws. 6 total fouls for Michigan. Anything else going to put Wisconsin in the bonus. Wisconsin over 10 fouls in the second half, leaving Michigan in the bonus. So Nick Boyd's going to put up the first, and good. Nick Boyd, this is his 3rd home, spent 3 seasons at Florida Atlantic, played under Dusty May, started the 2022-2023 Final Four team for Florida Atlantic under the Michigan Wolverines head coach, Dusty May. Spent 1 year at San Diego State, now at Wisconsin, and he made both free throws, 83-81 Wisconsin. Just going to roll the ball up there as Cadeau with 4:22 left. Now to Lendenborg. Lendenborg back to Cadeau. Back to Lendenborg. Back to Cadeau. Cadeau pump fake to Roddy Gale in the corner. Roddy Gale Jr. for 3. The quarter 3 from Gale. 84-83 Michigan with 4 minutes left to play.
Exactly what Michigan needed with 84-83. We are a 1-point lead.
Here we have Blackwell. Blackwell driving to the basket, and he's going to put it in. Great job from Blackwell. Puts Wisconsin up 85-84. Cadeau now across half court. He's going to find Gale at the basket. He's going to kick it to Namari Burnett, who's no good from 3. Cadeau threw it up for a lob for Gale, but he was able to midair find Burnett. No basket, though. 85-84 Wisconsin. 3:20 left to play. John Blackwell guarded by Roddy Gale at the top of the key. He's going to give it to Rowdy. Rowdy guarded by Merez Johnson now. Now Nolan Winters back to John Blackwell. Blackwell screen from Bielyauskas. Blackwell takes the 3. No good. Rebound from Carrington. Over to Rowdy in the corner, and it's good. 3-pointer from Andrew Rowdy puts Wisconsin up 88-84. 2:50 left to play. Wolverines need a basket here. Cadeau on the left wing. Gets towards the basket. Passes to Merez Johnson. Ball's up in the air. Blackwell corrals it. Michigan struggling on multiple possessions here as John Blackwell will have the ball. They are draining clock. Blackwell guarded by Gale. Bielyauskas with the screen. Blackwell still moving slow. Spin move. Right wing. 3. No good. Lendenborg with the rebound. The Axel Lendenborg down the line. Over to Gale. Left wing. No good. Wisconsin rebound. Nolan Winters facing pressure from Axel Lendenborg. Now Braden Carrington going to be fouled by Roddy Gale. We're going to get free throws here for Wisconsin after this media timeout. 2 minutes left. Wisconsin 88. Michigan 84. Michigan in a bad spot here. John Blackwell, 26 points for the Badgers. He has came in and destroyed this Wolverines defense. This defense was touted as one of the best. They were ranked number 1 according to Ken Palm. What are you noticing?
I definitely see that. From the Wisconsin side, they are definitely trying to drain the clock. We have 2 minutes left on the clock, and we have where Michigan is 88-84. But I've also seen on Michigan's side that they are trying to put 3 points up, but it's not working for them. So I do think that really it's just they just have to push into these 2 minutes.
Yeah, definitely a struggle from the Wolverines. Wisconsin's played really well today. 15 three-pointers made. 9 turnovers forced. Great job from the Badgers. 16 assists, sharing the ball so well. Michigan has 2 minutes to right the ship. This is for the undefeated record. This team is 15-0, 14-0, sorry. 14-0, Wisconsin 10-5. This is a huge game for Wisconsin. If they're able to win this one, they feel good about the rest of their season. Just 2-2 in Big Ten play so far for them. Lost bad to Nebraska. Lost by double digits to Purdue. Lost in overtime to Villanova. Lost to TCU. Team that has performed fairly well. Michigan struggled with them as well, but TCU lost. And a big loss to BYU early in the year. One of the top 3 NBA draft picks, A.J. DeBonsta, on that BYU team. How is Michigan going to come back? 4 points, 2 minutes left.
This will have to be the comeback of a lifetime for the Michigan Wolverines for them to play this.
2 minutes since the Wolverines have scored. Cadeau has been the leading scorer for the Wolverines with 19. Lendenborg just 4 for 9. Roddy Gale has been in the game for Daimara. He's 3 for 7. Perez Johnson Jr. has had a couple free throws, but has not taken any field goals in the second half. 6 for 6 still after a big first half from him, but you've not seen much from him. We're going to have Braden Carrington shooting free throws as we come back. Elliot Cadeau, Namari Burnett, Roddy Gale, Yaxel Lendenborg, and Perez Johnson are the 5 for the Wolverines. John Blackwell, Andrew Rowdy, Braden Carrington, Alexis Bieliauskas, and Nolan Winter, the 5 for the Badgers. How will this one end? 2 minutes left. Possession arrow on the Wisconsin Badgers side in the event of a jump ball. Carrington misses the 1-and-1. Lendenborg here bringing the ball up, left wing. Lendenborg guarded by Nolan Winter. Lendenborg gives it to Burnett, to Johnson, to Lendenborg on the left wing again. He's going to attack towards the basket, finds Cadeau. Cadeau's going to shoot over John Blackwell, no good. Rebound by Braden Carrington. John Blackwell now changing pace on the right wing, gets a body bump foul, and he will go to the line. Yaxel Lendenborg's 4th foul, and John Blackwell will get a 1-and-1 opportunity here. A minute 27 left. Wisconsin 88, Michigan 84. John Blackwell, big scoring guard for them. He misses the 1-and-1. That's back-to-back misses from Wisconsin from the free throw line. Lendenborg, right wing, to Burnett. Burnett to Gale on the left wing. Gale attacks Bieliauskas. Tough finish at the rack. Roddy Gale Jr. with the finish. 88-86 Wisconsin. A minute and 11 left. Greg Gard will use a timeout. Try to get his team set up for their offensive possession. Any points would be huge for them here. Back-to-back missed free throws.
Yes, it's definitely been, Wisconsin has definitely been missing those really easy free throws, and hopefully Michigan can take advantage of that and even just bring this game to a tie.
It's been a minute 45 since we've seen a field goal from the Badgers. It was Andrew Rowdy. That was his first points of the night, just his second shot. Nick Boyd at 22, John Blackwell 26, Elliot Cadeau 19, Perez Johnson Jr. 18. Huge game here. Daimara is going to sub in for Namari Burnett. You're going to see Nick Boyd in for Braden Carrington here. It's going to be to Nick Boyd off the inbound. Now to Rowdy. Back to Boyd. Boyd doubled to Rowdy. Rowdy gets it across half court. Ilyauskas now back to Boyd. Boyd guarded by Morez Johnson Jr. 14 on the shot clock, 54 on the play clock. We have Nick Boyd, great defense from Johnson. Now he gets by him. Adaimara, great defense. It's short shot, but he missed it. Didn't even hit the rim. Rowdy just has to throw up a shot. No good. Pushed up the court. Roddy Gale Jr. at the rack. Adaimara with the putback. It's going to be called offensive goaltending. The shot that would have put the Wolverines back tied is going to turn into a turnover. Adaimara, great play there. Looks like there's going to be another challenge if possible, if not just a timeout here. What a play from Mara to get back. Unfortunate that couldn't have been good. This building lit up after that one. Called the goaltending on it. So Michigan will be down 88-86. Wolverines have 35 left to play. They are going to review this one here. We'll see what the referees decide. That would be a huge electric moment for the Wolverines.
100%. 35 seconds left on the clock, 88-86. We hope that this ruling can be in favor of the Michigan Wolverines tonight, or in this afternoon.
Adaimara, the 7'3" big man from Spain, transferred in from UCLA prior to this season. He has been a phenomenal rebounder for this team, averaging 8 rebounds a game, averages 10 points a game in 22 minutes. Plays a little less than he probably could. He struggles from the free throw line, 47 or 41% from the free throw line on the season, so he doesn't get to play much in crunch time. But the Wolverines decide to put him in there. What a play from him as the referees continue to look it over. We will see what the officials decide. Wisconsin will not be happy in the event it gets overturned. These fans will be upset in the event this is upheld. Here we go.
The call of basket interference is going to stand.
The call of basket interference stands. Adaimara's putback attempt considered no good. Wisconsin basketball, 35.2 on the clock. Wisconsin, 2-point lead, 88-86. The Wolverines will need a stop and a basket to stay in this one. 30-second shot clock in college, 35 on the clock. Means there's going to be a 5-second difference between the two. You'd expect to see Wisconsin play slow, use as much of that shot clock as possible. Rowdy's going to be the impounder. He's going to get it to Boyd. And we're going to have a timeout from Greg Gard as Boyd is trapped. 33.3 left. Wisconsin timeout. What do you expect to see out of Wisconsin here? What kind of play do you think they're going to run?
I definitely think that Wisconsin is going to try and make sure they run that clock through because, of course, we have 28 seconds left on the shot clock for them. With that just 5-second difference, hopefully Michigan can get a turnover on the ball. Shooting maybe a layup, a jumper, a three-pointer, something that can help Michigan increase the points on their board, even tying out this game.
Yeah. If you were Greg Gard here, if you were Wisconsin's head coach, which player would you draw the play up for?
That's a very good question. I definitely draw it up for Nick Boyd or John Blackwell. Definitely one of the star players on this team. That's Ilyauskas has been definitely good when it comes to three-pointers, but right now it is a matter of making sure that the offense is good.
For sure. Carrington's going to go up and try to catch it over Elliot Cadeau. There's going to be a foul called on Cadeau, though. Wisconsin threw it all the way down the court. Carrington goes up for the athletic play. Cadeau gets in his way. They're going to call a foul on it. It's going to be a 1-and-1 for Wisconsin here. Braden Carrington has a chance to put Wisconsin up 4 if he can knock these down. Braden Carrington, this is his first year with Wisconsin, spent 2 years at Minnesota. Last season started for Tulsa, and he's going to knock down the first of his 1-and-1. He's been a big rotational piece for them. He's done a great job today. He's played a lot of minutes with Nick Boyd struggling a little bit with foul trouble. And Carrington's going to make both. Michigan's down 4, 31 seconds left. Cadeau moving quickly, guarded by Winters. It's going to be a Dusty May timeout here. 90-86, Wisconsin with a 4-point lead. 27.6 left in this one. Undefeated record on the line for the Wolverines. Wisconsin looking for their first big win of the season.
This would definitely be a huge win for Wisconsin. Definitely a big upset. Michigan Wolverine fans hope there needs to be a comeback for this.
Yeah, going to be a interesting decision for Dusty May here. Do you draw it up for Lendenborg, who's looked as your best player, or do you try to get a 3-point shot from Cadeau? Lost to the Wolverines. Upsetting loss for them last year. They lost in the round of 32 as well. Lost to BYU. And here's Lendenborg. Gonna find Burnett. Burnett's open. Burnett misses. It's gonna be off of Carrington. Refs are going to call it that way. Michigan's going to keep a hold of the ball here with 22.9 on the clock. Burnett was open, but no good. Wisconsin trying to get guard to challenge the call here. He's not, but we're moving slow. Refs are trying to figure out what's going on. Badgers are going to substitute. Going to bring in Jack Janicki for Braden Carrington. Here we have Cadeau as the inbounder. Over to Johnson. Johnson finds Burnett. Burnett running out of time. He's going to shoot a corner 3. No good. And that's going to be a foul on the floor. Big break for the Wolverines there as they're going to get free throws here. John Blackwell called for the foul, his third. We're going to see Yaxel Lendenborg shoot 2 free throws here, being in the double bonus. 15.6 on the clock, down 4. Here is Lendenborg, the UAB transfer. The first will be good. The number 1 player in the transfer portal going into the season. Looked at as a National Player of the Year contender in college basketball. He's going to put the second up here in just one moment. And it is good. Bounced off the back of the rim. 14 points for Lendenborg. Wisconsin has the lead, 90-88. 15.6 left on the clock. Inbound to Blackwell. Blackwell throws it up to Carrington. Carrington trapped. Going to be a foul called there on the Wolverines. Double bonus now as Carrington's going to get 2 free throws. Carrington 8 for 10 from the free throw line today. He has 11 total points, has just 1 made basket, but 8 free throws. See how he does on these 2, the biggest of the game so far. Braden Carrington, the 6'5" senior guard out of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. The first is no good. The Wolverines still have life. Adai Mara going to sub out here. We're going to see Carrington put up his second attempt. This is to put his team up 3. Braden Carrington, arena rocking, and it's good. Wolverines have 9.6, and they need a 3. Carrington's gonna sub out for Jack Janicki there. Cadeau rolls the ball up the court. Cadeau now over to Lendenborg. Lendenborg at the top of the key to Roddy Gale. Roddy Gale tries for the foul. No good. Merez Johnson, no good. That's the buzzer. Michigan loses 91-88. Wisconsin. The undefeated season is gone for the Wolverines.
What an upset on the Wolverines, 91-88. Such a tough game for them. Definitely an upset against the Wisconsin Badgers. It's been such a great and intense game, but unfortunately the Wolverines just couldn't make it through those last 5 minutes left of the game.
Michigan finishes the game 1 for their last 9 field goals. Wisconsin comes into the Chrysler Center, has a huge road victory that will define the rest of their season. And we will see how they will finish out their season. They play next January 13th at Minnesota. Your Wolverines will be back January 14th in Washington. Hopefully they can right the ship and win that one. Still a great team. Unfortunate to lose the undefeated record, but this is still a special team that can do a lot of good things.
Yes, I agree for sure. Despite this loss, it definitely is going to push Michigan to continue playing their heart out when it comes to these games. You can definitely see that it brings them joy when it comes to playing. There's such a great game of basketball every single time they are in Chrysler Arena, and the fans are such a great atmosphere for them as well.
We will end this one in Ann Arbor, 91-88 Wisconsin. With zeros on the clock, your Wolverines drop their first of the season. Thank you for listening. I'm Gavin Briggs.
I'm Akinremi.
And have a good night.